When I was a little girl, probably about 3 years old, I remember walking down the street at night with my parents, and it was dark, but the sky was clear, and I remember looking up at the stars in this deep blue sky and being mesmerised. I remember not just looking at it and thinking how pretty it was. I remember looking at it and wondering what it was like up there. What sort of secrets did those little bright lights hold, and what lay beyond? As an adult, I realise that my thoughts, even as a young girl, are the thoughts of people for thousands and thousands of years, looking up at that dark, beautiful sky and thinking about what wonders, what magic and what secrets the sky holds. But here's the thing. I'm only around 3 years old. I don't have a critical mind. I don't know philosophy. I don't have anything like that. But I do remember that I'm not looking up at the stars thinking it must be lovely out there away from the earth. I somehow always saw the earth as being part of that tapestry of light. I didn't know it was. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the education. But I never saw it as being separate. And obviously, the older I got and the more I read and the more I learned that it wasn't. That the earth is every piece of part of that wonderful expanse as anything else is, and we have our position in it. And I think that's important. And it's certainly important to the way that I view pretty much everything when I'm looking at the unexplained and the paranormal and the mysterious and the wonder. I see everything as part of the same thing. And I often think that all of those secrets I wondered were up there, and all those stories that I thought those stars could tell, that the earth would have its own secrets and its own stories as well, because it was part of that wonderful universe. The older you get, the more you understand what's out there in our immediate solar system. And as each day passes, science learns more and more about the expanse of space. But in our lifetime on Earth, in our tenure on Earth, we're never going to know everything, and that's the way I like it. If you've listened to my vlogs before, you will know that's the way I like it. There will always be mystery out there, and to me, that's a good thing. Turning our eyes inward, we look at our own planet, and those who say, well, we know everything about our planet. We don't. When you're a child, you look at the world through innocent eyes, wide-eyed in wonder, looking at everything for the first time. But sometimes what you're really looking at is you looking at the same things that were looked at through ancient eyes, looked at in the same way of wonder, of a need to understand, and of a need to know the stories and magic that's out there. The title for this video, Why Wonder is the Beginning of Wisdom, has been taken from an article called A Study of Wonder that I found in Psychology Today, and I will leave a link in the description if you want to read the full article. But I'm going to be pulling out pieces of it to illustrate the point that I'm trying to make. So this quote from the article states that wonder is a complex emotion involving elements of surprise, curiosity, contemplation and joy. And it is perhaps best defined as a heightened state of consciousness and emotion brought about by something singularly beautiful, rare or unexpected, that is, by a marvel. And what I'm trying to get at in this introductory piece for expanding the topics that I'm doing on this channel is, if we didn't have a sense of wonder, we wouldn't seek answers to the questions that we have as much as we do. Whether you are a believer, a skeptic, you're somewhere in the middle, whether you're a scientist, whether you just have very strong beliefs in the paranormal, all of us take a sense of wonder. We just deal with it differently. Something amazing happens maybe to a scientific brain. They're going to want to unravel why that happened, what the physics was behind it, what the science was behind it. To somebody who is a complete believer, they may already decide without any peripheral knowledge as to what's going on. But to those of us who sit in the middle, that believe but want to also find answers and explanations, wonder is a very strong emotion. We all like to be surprised. We all like to suddenly feel as though something unexpected has happened. We are naturally curious creatures. Humans are. Right from a very early age as children, we ask multiple questions if we don't understand something. Why is the sky blue? What are those bright lights in the sky? What are stars? What are they made of? All children ask questions all the time because of a natural curiosity. Contemplation, this is where sometimes we separate ourselves out into the categories of skeptic and believer and not in the middle, in deciding when we see something that we don't understand or that we think is incredible, as to our initial reaction to it, whether we blindly believe, whether we blindly don't believe, or whether we're curious enough to want to look into it further. And emotion, because it is emotional, whether that emotion is fear, whether it's also wonder, whether it's sadness, whether it's joy. But the idea of the paranormal in all of its forms, I don't just mean ghosts, in all of its forms, there's a sense of wonder, whether it's a very large sense or the minutest of senses that something could actually be real or could actually have happened, that keeps us going in investigating and researching the sort of occurrences that the paranormal field looks at. So I really hope you'll take this journey with me into looking at phenomena beyond ghosts. I will include ghosts, will include spirits, will include demons, but I want to be looking at so much more as well, and I'm hoping that you take some time to look at some of the things that I do in this subject area, because I am very excited about it, and it is a passion of mine, as I explained in the first blog. Let's take this community forward, looking at other subjects as well as making sure that we're always supporting the Real Investigation channels. So look and wonder with me, and let's see if we can't either find some answers or find new reasons to look into these subjects further.